what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. So I've been trying to, plumb some resources to figure out some of the stuff that's been going on over there at LSU. I had heard a story that that Pete Jenkins had come in and basically said, like, okay, the first thing the LSU defensive line, like the first thing we're going to do, boys, we're going to get up on the line. I did not say that story publicly up to this point because it felt too absurd to be true, even though it's weird. This is a weird thing, right? Because like, this is what I'm seeing on film. And even though I'm seeing it, I always have the insecurity of, am I missing an element? Because anytime you see something that is so clearly fundamentally wrong, I'm like, okay, there has to be a greater reason why that is, right? I'm not a football coach. I don't dedicate my life to watching film. I don't dedicate my life to teaching kids technique. So like, there has to be some missing piece of the puzzle that my layman brain is not understanding. Well, in a very validating reveal, no, I wasn't missing anything. Pete Jenkins literally walked in, and the first thing he said is, okay, we're going to get up on the ball. I've also heard that the current state of the D-line is a reclamation process, a bit unlike anything Pete Jenkins has ever seen. That the guys don't know what to do with their hands, their technique. It's just a complete disaster at this point. Now, 5 days is not enough time to fix everything, but it should be better. If nothing else, you should see that defensive line be on the ball this weekend, right? Crowding the line of scrimmage, dictating, because that's the most frustrating part about a lot of what we've been seeing lately. And look, Brady Cook can run. Don't get a mistake there. Like, this is your third week in a row playing a very mobile quarterback who's throwing it very well, okay? And KJ, Jackson Dart, they both whooped your ass. Brady Cook's in that same vein. He's playing better football than he's ever played before. I feel like, unfortunately, for oh wow, is that true, Nookie? Well, we'll get back to that. Sorry, I got distracted. I feel like, what was I talking about? I can't pay attention. He said Eberflus translates to boar abundance in German. That's actually kind of badass. Maybe I'm wrong on Eberflus not being a good name, because that sounds kind of cool. Patrick Vaughn says, but it shouldn't take Pete Jenkins for any coach to correct this man. What is the excuse? We're trying to be forward thinking here. I do not know why nobody on film pointed out up to this point what the hell is the D-line doing. But again, we're being forward facing. Here's to hoping when you turn on the game at 11 a.m. Saturday, you see guys online. I think one of the problems is when you go against the running quarterback and you think about what happened in the Arkansas game. There were times where when trying to rush the passer, you would lose rush lane integrity. KJ Jefferson would get outside the pocket and he would make something big happen. I think LSU went too far in the rush lane integrity standpoint, because what I'm talking about here is when you rush a mobile quarterback, a lot of times one of the big advantages of having a mobile quarterback, and you see this with Jaden Daniels, is it takes away some of the defensive line's aggression. You can't commit to a hard inside move if you're going to leave a wide open lane for the quarterback to run through, right? So what happens is you have to rush down the middle for the most part, if you're on the edge, you could go around a little bit, but not too far. Like, you kind of got to rush down the middle of the offensive lineman. So it controls the D-line in a way. There is a needle to thread there, though, where you have to figure out, okay, what moves can I still, because you can't just bull rush them every time. Like, what pass rush moves can I still work? Schematically, what can we do to get guys on the move while still creating a coordinated, plan of attack that doesn't have any gaping holes? And for whatever reason, LSU was completely unable to thread that needle. I think they became too conservative, too catching, and it just led to Jackson Dart having all day and still being able to run because you were receiving. That's the biggest disappointment about this front seven for LSU this year. Outside the Mississippi State game, they've been receiving. I want to dictate on Saturday. I want to dictate the terms of engagement. And so when like that, it all sounds so crazy that we're talking about this, but that is what getting up on the ball does, right? It allows you to dictate, to become the aggressor. Give the center no room to operate. As a center, if a guy was going to be half a yard off me, I love that. I get to snap, step, get both my hands ready, then fire off. Like, what you're actually supposed to make a center do is right when I'm snapping, I'm supposed to be having to shoot the offhand, get my second hand in there, get my feet going quick, like, shoot and step, snap all at the same time because you're right there on top of me. So I want to see this D-line line up with the ball, and I want to see them start to dictate the terms of engagement here. Matt C says there's a scheme/personnel issue as well up to this point. Recruiting, and we are playing linemen that are suited to taking a 4-3. Okay, basically, Matt is saying that he thinks that we have linemen that are suited to playing in a 4-3, and we have them playing in a 3-4. I mean, I'm a 4-3 guy. I always have been. It's a bit more old school. I don't know, though, that like Mekhi Wingo is probably a better 3 technique. Maason Smith is probably a better shade on the center. So there is some truth to what you're talking about there. And to be quite honest, I guess I haven't thought about it much this year. So I'll start watching the film with that in mind and see if I agree, because you may be on to me. I don't think it's like so bad that he goes on to say that's coaching malpractice. I don't know if I would go that far with it. I mean, these guys are talented. We saw them have, again, Mekhi Wingo was an All-American out of a 3-4 last year, best rated interior defensive lineman in the entire country. But it's something maybe to keep an eye on going forward. Landon Lambert confirmed D-line has not been on the Kegels. Yeah, no, they have not. Program Director Smith is soft, got no chest. Again, I don't think Maason Smith is soft. I don't think that's correct. The problem is he's just not doing the fundamental things. He's not doing his technique. As you kept talking about, he's just sitting there hand fighting with the offensive lineman. He's trying to prove I am stronger than you. I'm bigger than you. I'm going to lock you out. I'm going to hold you like that, when he needs to, the offensive lineman needs to just be a roadblock, a speed bump, an obstacle to a goal, not the goal. Like right now, he's playing like the O-lineman in front of him is the focus instead of the ball. The ball needs to be the focus, and he's just a gate that you have to find a way over or through. And once he gets that, I don't think you're going to think that Maason Smith is soft. I don't think he's playing soft, personally. Let's see what we got. Go edit. To the analyst breakdown as granular as individual matchup strengths and weaknesses. For example, this O-line prone to getting beat with a bull or a swim, etc. Yeah, I mean, look, no doubt when you pour through film, you are working, every single person gets a grade, and you see where you were bad, where you were good. Also, this offensive line gets beat with nothing consistently. This offensive line's incredible. This offensive line's the best part of your team. Will Campbell was y'all ever play Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey?
Nope.
No, it sounds awesome.
On N64, it was awesome, dude. But at certain points, the goalie would just turn into a brick wall, like just transform into a brick wall in front of the net when you would shoot. That was Will Campbell. This last game in pass protection, it was unreal. Speaking of granular breakdown, though, and I like hearing this. I don't know the full veracity of this story. It is, like we said, this is chirping season when things start to go bad. But I did hear a story that perhaps Matt House was called into Brian Kelly's office on Sunday, and they spent 4 hours going over the film with a fine-tooth comb. What did you call here? Why do you think it broke down? And that made me happy to hear, if that's true. Some of you may say that's obvious, and that's fair. I never know. When guys have a lot of money or different leadership styles, I never know what the play is. I never know, are guys complacent, or is the style of coaching just, no, I'm going to trust my guys to do their job. And honestly, that's a good, I believe in empowering employees. I believe in allowing them room to operate. But at a certain point, if it is so bad, you do have to get involved, and it's definitely break the glass for this LSU defense right now. So again, it's tough to say whether or not that creates any massive change or produces any huge benefit, but I at least like that's going on, that some pressure is being applied, and that granular, okay, we got to really dissect this thing, look at it from every angle, examine it, take it apart, fully understand it in order to try to find, okay, you know what? These pieces may not be the best, but we can build something out of them. I can build a boat that will float. It's not going to look like a yacht. It's not going to be great, but I can get it to float and get a little sail on it, some sort of propulsion. Like, that's the only way this is going to get done. So I hope that story is indeed true. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.